George, I'm gonna hit your legs, mate.
Excuse me. Scott, can you press that red button or underneath it, turn it on? If I use no, underneath. There we go. Because if I use the remote, it turns yours off.
Yeah. Every TV had a different channel. You had to go down and pick which one it was. Direct TV. Hey, that's it. They put them all on the same channel. Simplicity.
I'm ranging from old to new. I don't know if I got what's on the list, but I got a second.
All right. You gotta let me in. Hi.
Yes.
Got some. Oh, I guess. Now I get the footage with Cece. I've got Sean's and I've got it with Tim's, I think, once I get her tonight.
Huh? There's some in there. I've got about 5 of them. I drink about that much and I leave them and keep them, put them in the refrigerator for me.
Because when we first came, first started doing it, I didn't. Oh, that's what share it on, so we put it on like for that, so that you share it, have
I'm good, thank you. You got some more door locks messing up?
Yes, sir, the detail come through, it's still showing us in the.
It took me a while to dig through and figure out what it was about.
Yeah, this is our control door,
The door going into control?
20 weeks. I asked her to expedite it, she said she could get it down in 12, I told her to secure the door, she's never engineers, so see what else they can do.
Well, my next question, how you gonna secure that one?
Drill holes in the wall, run a chain to it, I guess.
You really can't let them get in there. They take over everything to get in there. I said, you really can't let them get in there, they take over everything they get in there.
I heard. But this is how I spent my day.
That's Friday.
What's going on?
There we go.
We don't get over all. I'm just waiting for you to start on that. Is you ready? Yeah. Okay. They're also proposing that.
I'm saying, okay. That's. Probably.
Let's see this. How do I get rid of it? Oh, there it goes. There we go.
Sure.
We got caught.
Man, you're telling me.
I got grasshoppers eating me, picked up the sprayer yesterday, it broke apart. Take it off. Any tolerance, part it back home. Fill it up to make one round that blow out.
All right. It's 9:03 and we will now begin our budget workshop for what's the second, July the 2nd. And Sheriff, I guess you're up.
Good morning.
Which department do you want to go through first?
Oh, I guess we could go to,
When did dispatching?
we could go to, dispatch first.
Okay,
Before we get started off too, let me mention one thing again, things I brought last 2,000 been here. I just forwarded an email to y'all this morning on some locks here at the jail. They're telling us permanent time, these are security doors here at the jail. The old company to get them repaired, it looks like 20 weeks to get a lock repaired. When the lock goes down, 20 weeks is get the parts for it to repair. I've had some of the extra, I think they may have got it down to 12. But that's as quick as they can get those locks, it's locked 32 years old. And some of those doors, I know some have been replaced. Brenda, you say some have been replaced, what, 7 years ago, 8 years ago? Yeah, some have been replaced 7 or 8 years ago. There's just a lot of wear and tear, those doors are several hundred pounds. They open some of them several times a day, because one of their kids, so. Again, I have talked to y'all about some type of long-term plan for housing for jail needs for the county. So it's building a new jail, adding new jail that's there, getting long-term contracts for these full prisoners. Just get parts of the place, if there's, take a lot of time and expensive. We'll start off with dispatch. So Captain Williams went back through, we looked at this. And did some cutting, I think I submitted to y'all yesterday, that's it.
Yeah.
First submission on this was at $943,325.90. The parts we cut off of this amounted to $799,049.19. a difference of $144,275.90. And I think those biggest cuts came from the request we had for additional dispatch correction. So cutting those positions. We're sitting okay right now as far as dispatch positions. What we've done over the last 2 years, the salary increases we've gotten, and we did increase the number of dispatchers over there. Those two factors and little change in management, those three factors help a lot in getting dispatchers we need and keep them there. We've got some pretty good folks working for us. We're working a swing shift now in the afternoons and evenings every day. So,
Yes, there's a swing shift on each, A shift and B shift, they work noon to midnight. So they're there during the busiest.
during those busiest
Peak
times.
times.
Okay,
During the series of storms we had through April, May, and early June, there's times that we had to call in, I've gone through dispatch. We've had all three consoles full, had to call a fourth person home to send me to be there. We don't have a fourth console, but a fourth person home to get to the telephone. We can only take, the system itself will only take so many calls, those number of phones, consoles we've got. And we get up to several, but on those nights, we got those storms like that. Those girls get a lot of calls, and it may take them a couple hours after the calls stop coming in just to catch a call notes up. Use those calls through dollars.
so you're running 3 dispatchers all the time now?
There's 2 dispatchers in the swing shift,
Swing
so
shift.
there's 2 there, 24/7, and then there's
Okay,
one
one
that's
for
there
12.
from noon to midnight on each side.
Okay. All right,
But it's something they're gonna come back and visit if we continue on with technical positions. It's something we revisit this coming year because this population increase is not gonna slow down, it's gonna continue to increase.
right.
Any questions on that?
No? Everybody good with that? All right, you gonna go to jail next?
Yeah, it'll work. What I said to you is there's notice at the bottom of the page on the jail. Just handwritten notes. Our first submission for the jail budget for the coming year is $4,016,461.47. Our second submission, we cut down to $3,663,194.56. A difference of $353,266.91. And those decreases came from which
A lot of it from the salary.
oh, salaries again. We had asked for a couple, how many positions we asked for? 4 or 2?
We made it.
4, there it is right there,
4? Yes, sir.
and a cook and a maintenance.
I would put everything down with just the maintenance person, we took out the 4 operational officers and operations crew. And just let them mention.
And once again, what we've done, with y'all's help over the last 2 years, in changing management, an increase in salary back here. Worked pretty hard with this good people working back there in jail. The turnover was cut way down, as I mentioned to you before, but from 43, the year before I got there, they cycled 43 people in jail. I think this last time around, I think we had the same time period, we cut it from 43 down to 11. We're always gonna have some turnover back there in the jail. It's that's a challenging place to work. We're blessed with pretty decent employees back there. Some have long-term goals to work at the sheriff's office, which is what we want. We want them to stick around. So the change in management, increase in salaries really helps out back there with the job they're doing. Again, we like that, so people run that place properly. You gotta have 5 or 6 people sometimes on the floor. They're doing an outstanding job. Keep them if we can, and we're talking about salary overall that we go in the sheriff's office for employees. So on the sheriff's office or jail side, do you have any questions?
That's still over $500,000 increase for the jail, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's just adding a maintenance person, that's mostly on your little deal right here, salary portion was 468,000 increase, that's just the wage increase?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And then adding position.
On. I guess I'm trying to cut as much as I can on your custodial supplies. The most you would ever use is 34,023, and you're budgeted for 55. You've only used 22.8 this year. Can we cut that down some?
The custodian supplies right now is a budget that whenever I get my printout the first of each month, tell me the remaining balance. I'll go through and I'll decide what line items are over budget based on how much of the percentage should be left. And right now, that actual line item is over budget. It's not over money, but it's over where it should be at this point in time. I don't have the current printout with the budget.
Okay, well, this was as of May 3rd, and that would be 7 months, 4 months of activity. And that's basically 3,000, a little over $3,000 a month is what you've been spending so far this year. So 55,000 is not justified based on current trends. So
The custodian supplies and all the cleaning products.
Or
All of it.
it should be about 65% through the year in
Mhm.
May. And they
7 months.
and they spent 57. So yeah, you're under what your budget is. That and the food, you're under.
So what do you think is a good number? So don't you, aren't you able to use commissary funds to buy custodial supplies or not?
No, because it furnishes the whole sheriff's office. It's not specifically for the union.
Okay,
Yeah, if you went down, say you go back down to 40 like we were on that, and then on the food, say you go down to. So we go down to 260. That's 30,000. That's over halfway towards an employee right there.
260?
I mean, right now we're at 134 on the food, which is 50%. So if we just cut that a little bit, you're over halfway there to an employee. But, I mean, I'm just trying to find it anywhere I can.
You mean medical jumped up with the dental stuff added in?
Correct. And then on the side.
Yeah, and that's
That.
the unfunded mandates. We can't help that.
It's under contract
Well,
service.
that was my next question, because contract services jumped up, so I thought our contract services, so medical just went up. Based on.
Let me ask this. With whatever new employees you get, should the comp time come down since we got the new employees?
Well, on your jail side, the only thing we're adding is the maintenance person, so the comp time's not going to be added.
All right.
Let's go back to food here just a minute. What are you looking at? We're at 275 in 2023 actual, we did $224,779.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at 260.
260.
260.
I'm looking at our current budget today. 75% of the year complete. She's got remaining jail does in food, 31%.
We're saying,
Custodial supplies is only 16, so custodial supplies is. She's running a little bit behind. She got a big encumbrance that y'all aren't seeing.
Right,
She got purchase order encumbrance. Expenditure.
but I was just looking at the past trends. 22, 34, 24. I mean, I know everything's gone up, but I don't think everything's gone up 15,000.
I think we can take it to 45. Would that be okay? That should cover it.
45.
45 for the custodial supplies. Inmate food at 260. The contract services is at 350. We'll leave it there because that added the dental and the psych nurse.
Good.
Inmate medical expense. What do you show as current spending for Sandy for inmate medical?
You made it.
In medical, 418.
That's one of those that bites us because they we have inmates that go out and have surgeries or have, and we don't get billed for that until like 6 months later. And they get billed all at once.
And that's an unfunded mandate. So
Yes,
It's that 50% in that medical right now, but I noticed the bill from the Solid software.
mm-hmm,
You know, once we get that $30,000 credit. That starts at the beginning of the contract, then they start billing us, and I believe this last.
It's-
You see in the bill, Melanie, that they charge us 14,000 per month. So we're past the 30,000, we'll start getting an inmate charger.
okay. I thought we passed that in January.
That started December 1st.
Okay,
Some of the bills that we pay in January for the prior,
prior year.
so we hit the cap and we'll start seeing bills for medical. That's something you can touch that.
You can't forget to do.
All right, so we're leaving it at 275, which is the same as this year.
Sometimes we'll see.
What is
bills as far as 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So what is the current amount that has been spent? You said 50%?
They spend 136,000.
Okay,
Have 138 left to make the year to see that was March billing we got, so you can see how far behind we are.
mm-hmm. Okay,
what positions does this include in the salaries? What did y'all add?
The maintenance person,
In the jail?
yes, sir.
Y'all just added one?
On the new revised.
So we have the same staff and you're just wanting to add one maintenance in the jail.
right.
we asked for 15 people, I think, additional positions, you know, that's cut it to 2, and I think we came up with 6.
What are the job responsibilities for this maintenance person?
I think what we want to do would be for primary thing would be for the jail there. The plumbing, electrical, mechanical. We've got another side door that's not service. To date, everything's got broken over there, either myself or the captain or a combination of both of us. They have made arrangements to get workers out there, everything's repaired, where it is. I put it before, I probably spend, and I'm a, it's probably service, I spent 10% of my time over there, the sheriff, dealing with the building maintenance.
Mhm.
It sure be nice to have somebody in the county does too, is to be able to look at day-to-day operations. Perhaps stop what we're doing because something's broken down. We have air conditioner out and dealt with a lock on one of the doors over there yesterday for, you know, probably 3 hours of my time out of the day. But it'd be nice to have somebody, in addition to the day-to-day duties over there, the position we'd like to go on and send them to jail school also to become certified as a jailer. With that, you'll be able to take inmates, trustees outside of the jail on days. When things were covered there, they can come over here to the county buildings, work on things, whatever it may be. Whether it's somebody here working on building or landscaping or whatever it may be, I think position would be,
They'd be doing maintenance on the whole facility, not just the jail though, right? 'Cause you got
primarily be that jail.
the primary,
A lot of
right?
wear and tear.
Right.
Yes, sir. If they were up on it, got things caught up, there's times they could work on all the buildings.
And any plans that they could do, auto maintenance too?
If it was managed and supervised, I wouldn't have an issue with it.
Well, let's ask this question, is this guy supposed to be hands-on doing repairs or just scheduling it? All right,
Hands-on to their ability. You know, whatever. There's little things that they would be able to do that right now we're having to call somebody in because we're not gonna have the trustees loose to do it. So in the long run, I think it would eventually save some on the building repair and maintenance.
In time right now, we have a lot of plumbing, we're able to do just order, trying to get parts ordered for showers. The, sinks, the toilets, plumbing. The sinks, toilets, and showers, plumbing heads, some of those things are obsolete. And we get parts to retrofit them or to update them.
Mm-hmm.
And we had time, had trustees that would have some working skills. If you ever seen, watch do them, we'd like to find somebody maybe had some of those skills to do them or to be able to supervise people. And those going to be used every contractors, if this one the job law, that they do very well, we're able to have. But hopefully we would cut down on some of those costs.
How did y'all come up with the number on the salaries, the 1,533,000? That's, we're adding one jail, but we're adding $390,000.
That includes the increase, the 5% increase in pay for everyone across the board.
Well, that's not adding up. 1141.
Another thing that happened, that I noticed on this one and also on the sheriff is did not have certificate pay budgeted for any of the, or most of these, other than the people that are actually in the position.
Correct, but down there at the bottom on each of them, it's got additional certificate pay.
Is that where it is?
Yes, sir.
And what is that based on? $7,000? It's just kind of a guesstimate for what?
Yes,
That's for the whole year? Okay.
because a lot of these guys, the jailers, specifically, whenever we bring them in, they're not even a licensed jailer yet. And they still have to go to jail school, but if they go to jail school, and they get their certificate, then they have to work a year before they ever get their basic license.
Mhm.
So he keeps putting all of those out by ways to even get the $500 certificate thing.
Back to the employees, Melissa. The 2024 budget on the salaries, if you added 5%. Oh shit, we had crap.
I'm sorry.
You have to,
You wanna see the,
We
yeah, here's the,
we are recording.
yes, we are.
It's supposed to be 1199077. It was our 5%. That's not including the new jail. That's just 5% off of last
Are you
year's salary.
figuring the benefits increase to go along with it?
Well, that would be in the benefits increase. That wouldn't be in the salaries.
When you increase payroll 5%, you have to increase retirement, you have to increase.
Right, but it's got
There's
line items on that for that.
There's line items for that.
You still
whenever
gotta account.
I broke everything down, and a part of that maybe that you're seeing is. So whenever I did the 5% increase, I did the 5% on, do you have this paper?
No,
It's
no,
on the screen. It's
Okay.
hard to see.
So instead of doing the
Yeah, I got the
5% increase just on the county portion, of what's paid, not including the supplement pay. Instead of doing it that way, I combine the supplement pay and the county's portion and did the 5% increase on that.
So that includes the certificate pay in there?
That includes the certificate pay, but I'm talking about the Senate Bill 20, the grant money. The supplement pay.
$9,200 a person from Senate Bill. Okay,
Right.
We're giving the 5% out of the grant. There was enough funds available that we hadn't spent. That was my understanding. So the county didn't absorb that 5% on the 9,200. You have the salary structure on, you have the computer,
Yes, ma'am.
It's up here on the screen.
Yeah.
but she's got the 5% coming out of the county money on the 9,200. I love it. Because the 2025 supplement's not gonna be 9,200, it's gonna be 9,200 plus 460. County's not only responsible for the full supplement. I think that's probably why you're looking at like that salary. Right?
Yeah,
It's
but
all the same, but the county's not really responsible for as much.
So whenever you take all three, you take, or two, it's just basically you do, but you take the sheriff's office side and the jail side. 500,000 basically, it's gonna be less 500,000 because you got the Senate bill, the grant money, it's gonna take all of that.
so you're saying the 5% raise that we was planning on giving to the deputies and the jailers are being absorbed out of the House bill
The
fund?
portion of the 9,200, 5% is, no, I'm sorry, I found it.
But that shouldn't affect the bottom number. I mean, 5% is 5%. The number should be the same, no matter where it's coming from, right?
No, the supplement's getting paid out of the central fund, not included in that.
I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding that. So we're not taking money on the budget we're building to give the 5% raise to those positions. We're using the grant funding to do it.
No.
5%.
just the 9,000 increase, the 5% of the 9,200 will come out of the grant.
Okay, that's very clarify.
The rest of it will come out of county fund.
Okay,
But
now,
she's got it all coming out of
this,
county.
this is our question right here. So what you've done is you've taken the 2024 salary, added the 2024 supplement, which came up to about 63,000, multiplied that by 0.5%, and that's the full-time increase right there, correct? All right, so you go down to the bottom of this column and it shows 124,000.
That's on
That's
how
the,
much money is increased,
right,
or that's on the salary increase.
so the salary increase right there, and then you add another, add the benefits to that, which would be a certain percentage. That's not gonna come up to 468,000. That's what we're trying to figure out. Where the 468,000 came from in the increase.
Break it down.
Because I don't think it's that much, to be quite honest.
Which is, I got
Well, the
three.
total increase is not just coming out of salaries, it's coming out of the operations and. the
Yes,
salaries.
and that's where this little note up here is very helpful.
So we've got. I took the $2,225,944.56, which was my total, where we add the benefits, the. Salaries and all of that together. And I took the 2024 budget, which is $1,787,180. I subtracted those two numbers, and that's where I come up with the 468. Whatever, it was, 468, 764, 56.
Okay, yeah, this is where you got it right there. Still don't see it.
I think, all right, Melissa, make sure I had your, you
No,
took that
no.
1.7 million, 1,787, 180. You
Correct.
times that times 5%?
No,
Okay, all right, since the rest is not 5%.
whenever I added up the requested 2025 budget under the salaries. The total personnel cost was 2,200,000.
55, 944, 56.
Yeah. So whenever I subtracted that 1.7 million from that 2.2 million, that's where I come up with that $468,000.
So is
Well, here's the question, okay? If the 2004 budget was 1,147,000. How is with a 5% increase, how is it 1,533?
Yeah.
That's the question.
So we've got. Free salary of 1.6.
How long did you have the supplement in there?
Yes,
The supplement's in a separate thing. Supplement's in fund 133.
how much is the supplement total?
The supplement.
Well, that would be on this sheet right here.
Yeah,
It's in this sheet right here.
266.8 is what I have on.
Well, but benefits and everything is correct.
no, just the salary.
This was salary, it is 280,000 on your. Now that includes the 5%. That's gonna be coming out of separate funds, now when we coming out of county.
Well, I'm back looking over at the workshops. One that you built that shows each department and the breakdown and the percentage increase. And looking at the jail, we're only showing a difference of $197,888, which is a 6.37 increase before you make the revisions you're here with now. And that included the 5% increase in pay, right, Miss Amy? When you built that sheet. It didn't have no new employees, but it had the 5% increase.
Where you at?
The one that's called workshops, that's in the folder where all our budget stuff is, we broke down each department, and you done FY 2024, proposed 2025, different percent increase. That included the 5%.
See, I'm showing you. No, y'all approve no. And when I started, that was $1,199,000.
Yeah.
I think the revision is coming in with the supplement, the SB 22 supplement. It's not included in the jail. The SB 22. If not, it's set.
So 5. So,
All that don't matter really because Sandy figures salaries.
yeah,
I mean, whether you made a mistake or not, it doesn't matter. She's gonna figure out the salary. Normally this part's blank.
So are you good with these numbers, Sandy? That's all I gotta find out, understand, I don't.
Well, y'all have, the only thing I haven't done is add my. I have not done that. That's.
But these numbers jive with what you put in the budget.
I have. Oops.
So what you're saying, Sandy, is in the 2024 budget, the jail salaries at 1,141,000 does not include the supplement. Okay, and then, but she's got it included in the budget request because that's where it is. Okay, I now understand. Y'all understand?
Well, it's still not, if you add the 280,000 to that 1,141,000, and then you multiply it by 5%, you're still way under $1,533. Or 1,533,000, but it don't matter, because Sandy's gonna figure all that. That's why,
Okay,
it's
so,
irrelevant.
I do got one more question on the jail though. I don't know if it's their contract services, but when I went to that conference, I talked to a bunch of, 4 or 5 architects and contractors on jails and got cards, information, everything we need to know. Do we have anything budgeted to get a firm to come here and figure out what it's gonna cost to build a jail? I don't know the word I'm trying to say, plan.
right. Well, I thought we were putting it in the public buildings, but that may not be the appropriate place to put it. So I'll ask Sandy if that was correct. Can we do it through public buildings or do we need to do it through the jail budget? Okay. About, it was, I think about 200,000.
I don't know what that stuff costs.
Okay,
I don't have a clue. We just have to, I've got actually I gave it to Joe the other day. We got it in a file and it's got it's got architects, it's got it's got everything. Y'all will see them in A&M when y'all go.
okay,
But I got a bunch of information on it.
okay. So we'll cover that under public buildings. It's in my budget. As Sandy said, but
Yes, sir.
all right.
The total budget for the jail right now, without this maintenance, benefit package and all, is $1,877,167, which is what I had there, 10%.
Without,
Without maintenance.
Okay. So 1,000,008, how much?
1,877.
So So if we add roughly 50,000, how much was that maintenance there? Oh, probably about 58,000. No, it's 49. Wait a minute. And then you got all of you got 10,000 for insurance and then probably another 7,000. So that's 458. So let's say 60,000.
Benefit package, just your insurance line.
Yeah. Okay.
be
So,
about 1,950,000.
yeah,
Right in there.
yeah, 1,950,000. Okay. All right, is there any other? Are we good with this?
That's one more question.
Are we good with the maintenance position? I'm good with it because I saw what the maintenance position for the courthouse and the rest of the county has done. And I believe it's gonna save us money in the long run. And make our sheriff and management people more productive in the same.
Yes, they actually
Right.
manage the sheriff's office.
Yeah,
Try to get those fixed.
okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, you were gonna say something before
And
I,
we did have a maintenance person there at jail prior to the time I've been there. I know back during Corpus time, they did have.
they did have
maintenance
maintenance.
person.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Other question on the maintenance position. The rest of the maintenance department won't work out of the sheriff's office anymore? Is that what it is?
The rest of the
Do
maintenance,
they go out there and take care of it?
no, the public buildings people do not take care of the jail at all. They do not take care of the jail at all.
no housekeeping, all that stuff.
Okay, all right.
Real quick, on the 5%. Are they gonna be 5%, the jailers and deputies on the 5% increase on the 9,200.
On their whole amount, yes, the whole amount they get, they will get 5%.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, Sandy figured out how to do that because we left money unallocated in the grant or in the SB 22 grant, and we can use that to fund the extra 5%
That'll help.
on the 9,200 only. So that's what it is.
Good.
So is that gonna eliminate the equipment line on the?
Or 2025, it'll be.
Okay.
All right, I'm closing the jail, going to the sheriff's department.
Commissioner, you move on to that. I'll make one mention. I got one bit of good news. Okay, we have one jail position open in the jail right now. We had 5 applications for that one position. And 5 people we had applied, all viable candidates, and some were outstanding candidates that applied to that. But again, the change in management, increase the salary, this increase we're gonna talk about now, will help get that jail where it needs to be, would be very much appreciated. Thank you. I do have good news once in a while.
And we appreciate you letting us know that, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have some, questions on certain line items. Let me see if this is right, anyone. All right, I'm going down to fuel and lubricants. Last year's budget was 250. You lowered it to 210 for next year. We are currently sitting at, or what are we sitting at? Sandy, have you had a chance? Oh, she's occupied. Yes, the current on the fuel for the ship. 98,500, and that's with 7 months or 8 months in. Is that through May? So, but right, we're well below the 250, and you know, I'd like to see us take it down to 200,000. But you're not even gonna get to 200,000 this year.
Bring one thing up too, we've been short positions since I've been there on deputies,
Mhm.
and we're asking for additional deputy positions, we're gonna fill those. Increase that cost.
Okay, and how much would a deputy use in a month? I figured basically $80. A fill up, and you fill up what? Once a week, twice a week,
Once a day,
once a day.
at least, sometimes twice a day.
And if you get those positions, that will ease some of that, because you won't have a deputy going from Edom to Roanoke.
Correct.
But you'll still have more fuel use, but you got more every bill.
If that
That was
comes
something.
out
It helps some.
in the-
So it'll be 400 a week times about $2,000 a month. Roughly is what that would be for a deputy. Let me throw something up here. That I put together. More if I can find it. Here it is. This is the cost. The cost of one new position for either a deputy or a patrol sergeant. Okay. So you got the base salary, which is in there, certificate pay, and again, this is gonna average insurance, retirement, taxes and other, which is unemployment, FICA, stuff like that. You're looking at a total of $80,000 for a patrol deputy, $85,000 for a patrol sergeant. Okay, that's for the person. For the equipment to provide for a new position, you have a vehicle, and I use 75,000, which is based on Tahoe at 55, and the $20,000 to outfit the Tahoe. You've got fuel at 5,000 a month, and again, we were just, I don't know if I figured that correctly or not. 5,000 a month. You got the auto maintenance and tires, 2,000 with the new vehicle, maybe one set of tires, and then you've got oil changes in there. Uniforms for the new position, training, and IT equipment. This is equipment that we have to purchase: the laptop, the cameras, body camera, the phone, and the camera for the car. That could be in here. That's actually in here rather than in the vehicle portion of it. That's the IT equipment. So 3175. The annual licenses, which that is on the cameras, we have a significant cost to keep the video that is recorded. It gets uploaded onto the web and stored there, and that is part of that service, as well as licenses for all of the software that's going to go on the laptop and whatnot. So you're looking at another almost $90,000 to equip one new position. Okay, and some of this is just one time, the first year, and then it drops significantly after that. But you're looking at a total $275,000 per position that it's going to cost for the first year. So I just wanted to point that out right there, because a lot of times you don't realize it's not just the base wages right here. It's a whole lot of other stuff that we got to add to it.
It's extremely expensive.
So with that being said, in your proposed budget, the revised proposed budget, you are asking for 2 sergeants, patrol sergeants, and not quite 2. What you're doing is you've got 4 new deputies, but you're reducing, or you're eliminating 2 positions, and in turn, that's becoming part of could be the deputies, although they don't equate to the same amount. Is that correct? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, well, 2 positions over the animal control position, we would like to fill. We don't have a place to take the animals, and also a staff deputy job. We roll those over those 2 full-time positions over to patrol deputies, and then add 2 additional patrol deputy spots. That would give us 4 patrol deputy positions per shift. And then also with additional 2 sergeants, we have 2 sergeant positions currently, to add 2, give us a patrol sergeant supervisor on the shift.
So you're gonna add 2 deputies without having to hire anyone.
Yes, sir. One's a little bit differential pay, it's a little less pay, I believe, than what a deputy is.
Also, adding positions is the only way that will allow us to continue the cadet program. Because as it stands right now, the 2 that we have in the academy are taking patrol positions. They're just at a lesser pay, but once they graduate the academy, then they will bump up and take that patrol position. So there's no other patrol positions to be able to send somebody else to the academy.
So if we're able to get these other patrol positions in the field, how will that affect your response times?
Oh, it should vary greatly.
You got 1 deputy in each precinct, that should reduce it a lot. I think.
You don't have one going from Band to Rolling Oaks or one going from.
A lot of these calls require two or more officers to respond to. Currently, we're having to use, we're blessed to have, we're using the police department, we're using those constables to come back us up on calls. And we say one per precinct, you understand, we're going to flex people around because precinct 2 may run to 3 or 1 may run down to 4 or back and forth, what we're going to respond to. Ideally, we'd have 2 north, 2 south, pretty much 1 per precinct.
And then a
But it
supervisor
would
can
also
back up
help
on top of that.
with the supervisor that can run the whole county and go back with the deputies instead of having to pull one out of a precinct to go assist.
Anything that needs backup, all they need a supervisor anyway.
And we had one letter. We started to fill the spots. Having to fill everything, we have ability to fill all the spots, we have this vendor, but if you look and see what we've done. Y'all's help, it's been a struggle to get there. The theories work, we changed management, we increased salaries. We changed reputation. Our jail, we're stable, things are good, we got some good employees over there, we cut the turnover over. Dispatch, we're doing good. Jail, I guess, our sheriff's office gets outstanding deputies working for us. We just can't get enough of them. That's why I want to keep working on the deputy side of this. To increase those salaries, to attract those people in retirement.
Why don't we just try to work with deputies this year? Then maybe next year the sergeants or whatever, but baby steps. My
Yeah.
opinion.
We can't do all that. You got your 2 deputies, the ones in green, which are basically replacing or filling the position for the evidence deputy and the animal control. But you got, it's about $10,000 more, but that's not. And as far as adding, I think, 2 deputies, but not 2 patrol sergeants. I just don't see how you can do 4. And I really, when you're looking at close to $170,000 each.
No, well, that was said, is already absorbed in other places in the budget. It's not a hard hit right up front. They got allowances throughout those other areas in the budget. Auto maintenance, fuel, vehicles, this is absorbing a lot of that 170 that you put up already.
Not a lot of it, no. So I'm not.
What is the question? As I told you before, I had sent a questionnaire out to the employees, asked them if they want more money, they want more personnel or equipment. And salary was number 1.
Mhm.
Additional people was second to those responses. We're asking for 8% of these patrol deputies, or for the deputies. 5% for all the other employees, 8% of the deputies. Simply, we've got the jail full, we got the dispatch full, we haven't been able to fill those deputy positions since I've been here. I understand there's so much money there, that I'd like everything I could to get those deputy positions filled. We keep working for it. Our reputation's good. We've got some good people working there. We're not getting our job. I'll look at one of you on the eye and tell you, public too, we're not getting our job. I can tell you, the resource we've got, the person I've got working there, they're doing the best they can do. Those people run their legs off for us. They're doing an outstanding job. I need to give us some. I've got positions now, I can't fill all of them. We're doing better. This cadet program, I think, is going to be a game changer for the sheriff's office. We'll grow our own people. We'll bring them through the jail, through dispatch, and other areas that come from, other parts, other county jobs. Get an opportunity to go to school, get paid while they're going there after they're a tenured employee, and have a good record with us. Get an opportunity to go to school to come over and come to work. That's the only way I think we're going to be able to keep this running. We're just down roads from Metroplex, and you can see the billboards on the highway offered twice starting salary to go for Metroplex to work in Plano. That's what we pay here. But I will work here in Plano, I can get the money to.
Couple of questions, kind of going back to what me and Joe was talking about on that 170,000. Vehicles, good question.
Sure.
We give you these extra patrol positions. October 1st, you're able to hire, you got vehicles, you're gonna put them in. So that's already absorbed in the plan and the budget. We're not gonna have to go buy a special vehicle for this employee. We've already got that worked out.
There's a request in the budget for new vehicles at $450,000 that would purchase 5 new vehicles, but we're gonna have to cycle out some of the ones that we've got. That the maintenance on them is just getting too astronomical that we can't replace, but if we're able to put 4 extra deputies on the street. Right now, I have 3 that are ready to be, or 4 that are ready to be sent to be updated. So I have those 4 vehicles right now.
So they accounted for that. And so the fuel and auto maintenance and uniforms,
Okay, well, the budget, you say it's accounted for in the budget, well, the budget was increased to account for those. So yes, it's accounted for, but it's still an increase over what we're paying now. So that's what I'm trying to point out. And we have, I believe, 11, we have 10 new Tahoes, 2023, 2024, we have 1 2020. And the rest of them are 2018 or lower, and they.
So
Well, I just got one back in the box, I got 6 of them.
we get 6 vehicles out starting in the shop, or going to the shop.
So you really don't have one ready available, you just got a rotating,
We've got to have a surplus of vehicles to
Right.
replace. To make it work.
right,
You think that
rotated
repair
5
maintenance,
vehicles a year. That's kind of their standard. They're behind because of supply and demand issues during COVID's got them behind. But they,
However, to increase that rotation. Or decrease that number of rotational higher, or we don't have, we're running 2018 vehicles, and I think 5 of the 6 vehicles we have down now, 2018's.
that you would think hopefully should decrease if you have 4 deputies, where they going from County Lake to Rolling Oaks. They're in one area. So theoretically, the maintenance should go down on all this stuff, because we're not going from Timbuktu to wherever.
I would hope that some of that is cut down yet.
in the past, we took these positions away. Because we just simply could not fill them, and you felt it was better to increase the pay to fill positions we could.
Yes, sir.
And now are we at a point where you can fill the positions that we give them to you?
We're gonna do our best. And I think that cadet program will go a long way toward getting into that.
I always said before I even got here, each precinct needs a deputy. That's my opinion. And it's a big county,
Population justifies that.
and the land, it's a big county.
It's run from one end to the other
The new population we're getting, call 911 for everything.
for everything. Come sit in dispatch for a little while, listen to calls.
You know, like it was when I was growing up, you called 911, but it was bad. You took care of everything.
Yes, sir. The 4 patrol deputies doable. 4 new patrol deputy positions, converting the 2 employees over.
I believe it is.
Yeah, and see how this year goes. If we get them filled, if we do, it's great. Then we'll move on from next year.
Can you swing your sergeants? Or adjust your patrol schedule where your sergeants, you can keep going with 2 and overlap.
Right now, that's what the position is for patrol sergeant is a swing shift.
Bridget? You gonna comment on it? You'll be doing 3/4 of this.
So, I mean, as it is now, that's a 2 sergeants for a swing shift. You know, with your hand 2 shifts, I gotta sleep sometimes, so I gotta get some rest. You got all the, they have 8 deputies that are in charge of. Both shifts, and they go home, they're getting phone calls and other people both of them, that's my point. You know, it's. I see what y'all dealing with, I appreciate everybody's comments. I'm Joe, we need to have, one supervisor for four span of control deputies. That's ideal, right? But the two that you have now, Randy said, wait until next year. That'd be, that's an option to do as well. You gotta fill the position, I do believe that we can fill, I don't want to say possibly, increase that, like, the nice equipment that the sheriff department has and everything else like that, so I don't want to say that we don't need, but I understand what the commissioner saying, when the next year, well.
The phone doesn't stop ringing as well. You get calls, pretty regular patrol, still. Everybody does, it's. A lot of liability in what we do, we want to make sure the right calls made. Our patrol lieutenant, our patrol sergeant, captain here, chief deputy, myself, we all get called at drivers.
And if I may speak this real quick, when you add those other deputies, if you decide to add other sergeants, your comp time and overtime, that's going to account, that's period. You can look at that. They didn't say on the back of that, well.
I don't know why y'all couldn't handle it, because y'all were in a lot worse position than this 2 years ago.
You know me,
This a lot better shape than you were.
yes, sir. It sure is, and that's because people got work over there and help, we got y'all salary, that's what made the difference.
Okay, so are we good with the 4 deputies and eliminating the evidence deputy and the animal control? Are we good with that?
Well, I mean, how many positions are you adding?
2.
I'm okay
To
with that.
convert 2 over,
I'm
and
okay.
add another $10,000 plus
Right.
benefits.
So we're adding 4 total, jail, sheriff, and dispatch. Right?
I'm not adding any in dispatch.
Oh, okay.
Just the maintenance
No,
person.
just
the-
maintenance.
Then add 3.
So 3.
3.
4 deputies.
3 new positions total.
3 new
Right.
positions total.
3 new positions. Oh,
You work with that?
We'll work.
Can you work with
we'll
that?
work Whatever we get.
Mr. Bridger, can you work with that?
Yes, sir.
well,
Back to the same percent.
See, I started out at 2, Joe, and you said 3 the other day, and we got you 3 now.
3
Next time it's gonna be 5.
positions.
Yeah, I said, pick your 2 positions. Well, can I have 3? There you go.
Yeah. I love all those people that are Chris, was hard to pick,
I would love to do 3%, but I don't think we can do it.
to get it to 8.
No. We got it at 5. I'd love to do it. I would. But we're already looking at what, $500,000? Adding $500,000 to your budget, just for the, what's the total we got right here?
Don't look at those numbers on mine, because that's with the 9,200 factor in, it's the same as the jail.
Okay,
Well, it just don't end. Like I said before, we cannot keep giving unequal raises. We have to give 5% to everybody, 8% to everybody, 10% to everybody. And we're already doing it. We're giving constables 15%. You raise these up more, then we gotta go back and raise the constable. And we've already got to go back and look at the JPs, because there ain't a county in the state of Texas that the JPs make the same as the constables. But Zandt County does, and so we gotta go back and look at the JPs. Yeah, I mean, it don't never end when you start doing it.
No,
You just gotta keep going up
I'm
and
not
up.
gonna argue, well, I agree with you 100%. This job market for law enforcement, the numbers that, sorry, it pays. I've done this 40 years, and I can't believe it.
It's not just law enforcement, Joe, everybody in this county is underpaid. If you
Yes.
work for Zandt County, you are underpaid.
Yes,
So that, and we've got to accept it, so, but we can't go in and fix the deputies and not fix the clerks, and not fix everybody. It's just not right, we're all underpaid, commissioners are underpaid, if you look at the commissioners in the other counties. You look at the judge, he's underpaid, everybody's underpaid, the sheriff's underpaid.
yes, sir. I'm not gonna argue those points with you, but again, one thing to it. These other positions you fill, we haven't been able to fill those deputy positions in years out there. That's why I'm asking you, and I understand. There's not so much money there, and the positions y'all are in, I'm just asking, this is my last time to come around. We haven't been able to fill those deputy positions in years, these other positions, they've been able to fill. That's why I'm asking.
I think we gotta be fair across the board. I mean. They're all getting raises, everybody's getting raises, we're all getting closer, we're a heck of a lot closer to the other counties than we
Much
used to.
appreciated. We
And
still get filled deputy spots.
Well, you just told me you would, he just told me you would.
We're gonna do our best.
Okay, so that's settled, 5%.
I'll agree to sleep at the sheriff's office, and do everything I can today, so these other people recruit.
We appreciate everything you do, you've done an outstanding job.
I appreciate it, thank y'all.
All right.
We wouldn't have got there without y'all. Don't think it's not appreciated. But I gotta represent that sheriff's office.
I understand.
Yes, that's what I'm here for. Thank you.
All right, quick question, the deputies that are working here in the courthouse. Does that number reflect bringing them up to, patrol deputies' pay?
Yes, sir.
So that is an increase for those positions. And the purpose behind that was to allow them to serve as patrol deputies if needed, correct?
And it was the same on the jail side. I know we've already closed that one out, but the transport deputies, it was bringing them up to where a deputy is a deputy is a deputy. It doesn't matter if you're assigned to transport or if you're assigned to the courthouse.
Okay, so you're basically just changing the position title from transport deputy to, well, you gotta find out if the commissioners agree to that.
what's the question?
There's not courts and we have three in the building, one will go to the streets that day.
That can come work the streets if we need somebody over there, or the same with transport, they can go. Where everybody that's a deputy is interchangeable. It's not, you're a transport deputy, so that's all you can do is transport. You're courthouse deputy or bailiff, that's all you can do is work at the courthouse. If I need you to come over here and work transport one day from the courthouse, then all's fair, you know. A deputy.
They don't take a cut. Well,
I can still assign you to transport, but that doesn't mean that I can't use you somewhere else. Without it being unfair to, you know, you're going out and doing the deputy's job for this pay over here, for the deputy, I can mix this pay over here.
so,
We'll do a new job description and every deputy will have the same job.
so that's why they got more than the 5%, plus they don't get the 9,200
Correct.
supplement, so we're actually only having to raise them up a little bit.
That number right there reflects the 8%. Yeah, they run 8% for all
Okay,
bag showers. And then 5% for everybody else, but that number there reflects 8%, so it'll be a little less.
so there's 4 positions, five of those positions that will change. 2 transport deputies.
2 transport deputies and 2 courthouse deputies.
Okay. Okay, and what is Chad? Where does Chad?
Chad's comes up with different, his comes from courthouse security.
Good.
Okay,
For the sheriff.
but is he's gonna be a,
If we're not security fund. All the revenue. All the court revenue has gone down. I had to lower all. Need to I have. I figured yesterday, we're not funding, we've been funding 35,000.
mm-hmm,
We're up to 50.
mm-hmm.
That's what I can understand. I wish I knew where to go to look for the information because the cases are dropping in the courts. I mean, is that a good thing? Or, you know, we say the calls are going up, but the caseload's dropping. So our revenue dropping every tax. I mean, but I had to drop revenue in the court. Really $400,000. Why we're stuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
We only got 400 in taxes and I can drop the revenue to offset all the taxes we got. And I don't understand, I wish my mind could go there, because I just don't understand why we're growing, we have more calls, the cases in the court. I pulled the OCA report for 3 years in district county court for case law. The amount of cases being filed.
We've been short on officers and a lot of people involved in this job. It's part of it, sometimes what happens to officers.
I mean, I just, I just wish I knew, I wish I could.
Pinpoint what the cause is.
Was there a backlog that just got cleared off?
We talked to Tonda about that. And a lot, I think I know what I'm talking about a little bit. We're not accessing the fines and fees correctly. That's part of it. Which I think we're working on that now.
I did some sample auditing, picking cases in county court. They all had fines. Big fines, I did, which Judge Winter does most of the class B, just making the bigger guy,
Mhm.
Those are the fines being assessed, so they're like.
What about the district court?
Well, I didn't look at, district court, most of their. When somebody finds a district court, they need to go to this thing. You don't get to collect that when they get out, come back.
But I remember, guys, DPS, for over 2 years, they haven't existed in the county, they get sit on somewhere else and not work the track. I think it stops.
They
Pay
that money.
The JP fines have dropped. So,
Well, those should technically go up if we have 4 deputies in the precinct. You would think the JP fines would go up because we got people.
That means too.
Do what?
Your tickets come from DPS.
Oh, really?
Well, the constables will have ticket printers, so
Yeah.
hopefully those will go up. And I don't know, we didn't talk about ticket printers for the sheriff's office. Is that something that a technology that we need to think about, or maybe next
We
budget?
actually had those come out of Scott's budget.
Okay,
We picked those up. Here.
Yeah, we got one that's in operation right now, that's dummy, for lack of better words, I guess.
Mhm.
To make sure that all the racial profiling and all of that comes through, because it's done through Southern software.
right,
So we wanna make sure that all the bugs are worked out. And all of them.
okay. So it's in the works?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Sandy's gonna need to redo some numbers for us to correct, to take it back, everybody to 5%, and those deputies going to patrol deputy pay,
So 2 transport deputies and 2 bailiffs are going to deputy back.
correct?
Right.
The increased deputy pay, the one that's already got 5% in there. All right, so let's go back to the line items on here. And several lines that we need to look at. Well, going back to fuel and lubricants. Right, I'm still convinced that 200,000 would be plenty.
We've paid 8 months.
And how much have we paid? 89,000?
And
Not, I'm sorry, yeah, 98. Okay, 98 divided by 8.
that looks 12,000.
Well, 5.
So the average on the fuel bill is.
That would be-
15,000, but that includes the cost of the DO's office, which theirs is in a huge one, the sheriff's office is 90% of that.
Okay, 15,000 a month.
That's for the entire
right,
That's 100.
that's 180,000. So we could go,
But
Yeah.
it can fluctuate depending on fuel prices.
right. So I think 200,000 will be plenty adequate. If you're currently doing 15,000 a month. And a lot of it is, other agencies, so. Can I get an agreement on that? 200,000? Okay.
You're showing lubricants on there too. Are you doing any oil changes or anything out of that, or are they all coming out of some down here for maintenance?
The lubricants, we do the oil changes in the Sally Port, and I order the oil from, last one. So that comes out of the fuel.
Okay. So there's no labor, it's just is it actual oil, okay, and all filters. All right, law enforcement supplies, it's at 75,000. I know you said that you needed to buy ammo, but it's still,
I just pulled a little over $10,000 worth of POs for ammo that includes student ammo and training.
and that's for how long?
That'll get us through the next qualification list.
Okay. So I don't see it $75,000 is needed. When, do you have what the current spending is, Sandy?
What all falls under that line besides ammo?
Ammo comes over there. Any other equipment that they use, like flashlights.
Bike strips,
That would come out of law enforcement supplies.
okay,
If we use those.
okay,
One thing. Yeah, any weapons that we have to purchase out of law enforcement supplies. That can tell you.
Vest, uniform?
I'm sorry,
gun belts, yes,
gun belts and vests, that's what it's.
Okay.
We spent 6,400 in long with supplies to permanent. She does have an number to write at $12,000.
okay.
So 20,000.
Oh, I don't. I think 50,000 would be fine. How about you, Mr. Bridger? 50,000? And we've only spent 20,000 for the year?
As far as the animal budget goes, another thing, I don't know how many times they qualify, I don't know what kind of training. As far as shooting goes on, I don't know, to say, yeah, that's what we got to do. I'm not
Okay. Well-
right now. It's a,
Well, I do know 75 is too much. So now we're, what is an acceptable amount? That's what I'm asking.
You look at 2022, we did 68,000, sheriff's office did $220.
Right?
In 2023, we did 40,152. We've been short on personnel. We've been busy trying to answer calls, take care of things over there, reach the staff back at what we're doing. We were gonna cut that a little bit, but if you look back to what 22 was, they were 68,220.
Do you have any of those supplies that was forfeiture fund?
I'm sorry, man, this one.
You'll get that, any of the, ammo out of the picture? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that was,
If 50 is close, 60 would sure do it.
60, I'm good with 60. So that we want to do,
And if they ain't found on 60, they can, I know we don't have to do it, we can find somewhere.
we'll do 60 there. Uniforms at 38,000. And again, I don't know what that comprised of.
On uniforms, I know that we've, and we've spent a whole lot out of the uniforms, we still have a pretty big percentage left in that budget this year, but adding employees, we're also gonna have to start ordering vests again, because the vests that the guys wear all have an expiration date, plus the size variety, we don't have that anymore.
Right.
The vests are
How,
looking at probably a good $600 a piece.
and how many vests do we need to replace? Do you have any idea?
Are there any grants for that? I was just around the other day, I learned how to look at grants. And there was one on sheriff's vest, I don't know when it expired, but I know there was one on there.
It's a possibility there are grants out there. but
I look at that right now.
I don't know. I'm not a grant writer, so I'm not even gonna start to try to apply for a grant.
So I'm recommending taking uniforms at 30,000. We're not gonna get close to that this year. I don't know why. Does the county provide the actual uniforms that the deputies wear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
They
sir.
do. Okay,
The uniforms, the vests, the gun belts, and all the stuff that goes on the gun belts. The only thing we don't supply are the boots.
Yeah, there's a grant out there for body worn camera policy implementation program to support law enforcement agencies.
that's body cam.
Deadline's July 15th, but
What is the life of a vest?
5 years is the average life of the vest. They have an actual expiration date on the vest itself.
Are we actually on a rotation or is it all hitting us at once?
Most of them are gonna hit us.
So maybe this year, if this, since you have 38,000 in your budget, I would suggest that you stock up on some vests this year,
Those
so
things are,
that you get your rotation,
Yeah.
not all at once.
They gotta be fitted,
Mhm,
body to that, body types.
mhm.
It's kind of hard to buy those things up front, stockpile.
it's not like just going to buy a large shirt off the rack, it's.
Okay,
Yeah. Length and width best.
so. So you don't keep them in stock, you have to custom order them every time you get a new deputy.
We have a few that we have there so that, you know, the next person that comes along, they're pretty much the same size as one that's left, so they can fit that vest. But then we'll have somebody come along that's a total, you know, totally different from any other.
Way smaller, way large.
Right. So we have to have them specially fitted in.
Well, I'm still thinking 30,000 is plenty for uniforms, and use what you've got by the end of this year to get the current deputies outfitted with new uniforms and whatnot.
You see on cost, 2022, they spent 41,000 uniforms. I came in 23, we spent 20,000, 23. And right now, that doesn't include encumbrance, 5,300. So we're going either what,
For 2025, 30,000,
30,
and use what you've got budgeted this year to get everybody up to speed, so that they don't need to get new uniforms next year. Do the best you can, that's what.
Back then it was high because the sheriff coming in wanted a new look. So they replaced everything. You aren't doing that. You are just maintaining upkeep and providing for them.
Yes, sir.
68,000 last
Yes,
year.
sir.
Okay, so 30,000, training, it's at 15,000, explain who all is covered under this training? Cause doesn't TCO pay for some training?
They do, we have the T-plus line. The T-plus line. This training, we take right off the top, at the beginning of every budget year, we take the police one out of it. Which there's the sheriff's office side and there's the jail side, so I'll take the total bill of the police one. Divide it between the two, so I can't remember off the top of my head how much the police one is every year. But it gives them unlimited access to be able to do online training. On the sheriff's office side, all of the training for the deputies, the investigators, the, clerical staff, property and evidence, any training that we send anybody to on the sheriff's office, that is okay. That and
Okay. Can we do it with 12,000 rather than 15, since it doesn't look like, what is the current spending on that? Sandy,
So today it's 76,000. Third quarter, 15.
but new sheriff, we may have, he needs training, lots of training, right?
Yes, sir. That's the anticipation, sir.
So I'm looking for a little help here. We don't need 15,000. What would we like for it to be? I put 12.
That was what I was thinking, is 12.
Does the new sheriff have to do training? Is there a right?
Is there a requirement? I don't know.
Yeah, he's gotta go to new sheriff school and all that in addition to his regular CEs.
Yeah, there's some schools that are covered already and I know there.
He'll still have travel, hotel and all that too.
One of the issues we had with training also, we were short staff. At times when we sent people for training, we simply couldn't do it. We did online training, but we couldn't afford to lose people. Send them out training, we had to use command staff and CID investigators simply cover the patrol shifts. We're past that point.
All right, 12,000. Going once. Any objections? Okay, next item, tires and tubes. We got 25,000, budgeted 25,000. And we've spent how much, Sandy? Tires and tubes, 7516. So we're not, my suggestion is, I would like to take it down to 20,000. And use your 25 this year to buy a whole bunch of tires.
that's at the end of the budget year every year, I go through and I stock up and order. Now that we've got like the 2024 Tahoe car sizes are different from the 2018, so I usually get 10 sets of each,
Okay,
whatever vehicle we got,
so, and plus we got 11 new Tahoes that came with new tires. So, but I know that we got, how often do you change them out? Once a year?
once, twice a year.
Okay. All right. So is 20,000, I think is appropriate. Okay, all right, do that. All right, now the next one I have is auto purchases. You got 450,000 there, and I guess my question is, how many is that? For those of you who don't know, and this is for our YouTube audience, we were buying Tahoes for 38,000 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We had ordered them for 38,000. We had 5 of them or 10 of them. I forget what it was. We had 10. We ordered 10. The dealer came back and told us we couldn't get 10. We could only get 5, and it would be almost
We could get 3.
3.
We normally order 5,
Right.
or double up and order 10.
Right. And so they gave us access to 3, and that was in October, and they said they'd be available in May. And when that time came, they then increased the price to 50,000.
Was it 36 to 57?
50, no, it wasn't 57. It was 52, I believe. The one that you just gave me was 57. That's the highest it's ever been. The ones we bought before were 55. And then actually the one at 52. From
That's 1 year.
Right.
1 year's production to the next.
Right. And so, and now we have option, access to a Tahoe, police version Tahoe for 57,000. So the prices have just So my question is this. Do we stick with Tahoes? Because we could get more vehicles if we went with something else, lower price. Like the Durango, which our constable has gone to.
The Durango. I wanna see how it's gonna hold up in the county. Because it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, it's not an actual, sitting up all-wheel drive, plus you got more ground clearance with the Tahoe than you do with Durango. For these county roads and things, but I don't wanna get into the same position we were in, where we're gonna buy a whole fleet of the Ford Explorers. And the first one blew right through the motor before it had its first oil change. Those things have been nothing but headache after headache after headache, so I don't wanna go out and purchase a whole fleet of Durangos and then be in the same position that we're in with the Explorers, where we know that the Tahoes will hold up. I mean, we got 2018s that we still got on the street out there. Granted, they're, getting high up in the maintenance now, but
And what are your plans then for the 1, 2, 3, 4 Explorers that are in service, or actually 2 of them? There's 5 total Explorers and 2 of them are targeted to be removed. One's got flood damage. But are you planning to rotate them out?
I would probably rather rotate them out before I get the 18 Tahoes.
Okay. Because we bought the Durango that Constable 3 is using for 44,000. And that's a significant difference, but I agree that we need to, I think we need to get maybe a couple more just to test. To put out, before you say buy a whole fleet, well, we won't be doing the fleet purchase like we did 2018. We just need to rotate. So my question to you is, how many vehicles do we need to buy every year to try to replace the ones that we have? What do we need to do to replace? Plus, if we're adding 2, now we're gonna have to add 2 more vehicles. Unless you say we can accomplish our mission on those 2 new ones with the existing vehicles that are.
With the newest ones that I've just got. That I've got to send to the upfitters. That would accommodate the new deputies, but it's gonna be kind of hold your breath that nothing breaks down type thing.
Mhm.
Either everything's running or nothing's running.
Right.
There's no in between. You don't ever have just one vehicle in the shop. You either have none or you got 6.
We're in Road and Bridge, we get it.
Yeah, it's just a law of the land. So I've got to have some vehicles in reserve sitting there for whenever
Okay.
the 6 break down.
So what I'm asking is, what is our plan for replacing vehicles and adding vehicles?
As we're able to purchase new vehicles, we can look at some of the older ones, the ones that are costing the most in maintenance, or the ones that have the highest mileage on it, and look at, maybe we get to a point where we can at least do a 1-for-1.
Okay, and how many do we need to replace on an annual basis, or at least now?
Yeah, now we've got. I'm gonna say, we've got at least 6 or 8 that we need to replace.
Okay,
I'll get one out of the shop and then it has to turn around and go back to the shop for the, something else that's wrong with it. It's been out for a week or 2 days. Or I'll have one that'll sit in the shop because they can't get parts. for it.
so with the 450,000 that you budgeted. If the average cost is 77,000 for the vehicle and the outfitting, you're looking at a little under, or right around 6 new vehicles in a year. Whereas if the average cost is 67,000, you're looking at close to 7. Or so if you cut your cost by 10,000, you can add almost another vehicle in that regard. So that's where I'm at.
What he's trying to do, and we've been trying to do it for 8 years. We finally got it fixed on the constable's and the fire marshals,
Mhm.
because we were struggling every year. And so we got them in a schedule. We need to do the same thing at the sheriff's office. So every year we can come in here and say, hey, we buy $400,000 worth of cars every year and we can learn to live with it.
Mhm.
And I think that's where Andy's trying to
That
go.
is.
I agree 100%. We still got a 2009 vehicle over there. It's going for Renee Bates later this month for auction. That vehicle should have been gone years ago, but it was still in service. They had had it. But we pieced it together, I think the last time it needs to go. I lived in front of those vehicles between 4 and 5 years simply because the vehicles can last longer because what we're doing, these county roads running out here, they just don't hold up.
You just had to bring roads into it, didn't you, Joe?
I've got property out here also. What happens when you fix the roads and the drives so fast, so it's kind of a, yes.
It is when they leave the county road and go out to.
They'll do that too. They certainly will.
So,
That's where he's going.
You know, rotation.
But when we go back to the Durangos as opposed to the Tahoes, again, I go back to the ground clearance. The Durangos, you're gonna have a hard time maneuvering those things in road limits. And that's nothing to do with the county roads, it's the private roads.
right,
You know, the Tahoes, you have a better chance of maneuvering through some of the tougher areas of the county for ground clearance purposes.
and trucks are not any cheaper than Tahoes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Like Tommy has. Okay, well, I'm fine with the 450,000. I'm just, you can get between 5 and 7 with that, depending on how you purchase in that regard. And what happens, this is always a question, and it's been answered before, but I'll ask it again. What happens to the equipment that's on existing vehicles that we've already paid for when we retire it?
Manufacturer's really good at changing dimensions. They'll run it for a few years, they change dimensions on the interior, so those cages, consoles, all those things that simply won't figure to the new vehicle about. Sometimes they will, a lot of times they won't.
Okay, well, so it's radio equipment too, right?
Radio equipment can be moved forward,
Okay,
which is what we've done numerous times, radio system running now. So those radio are running or.
Yeah, but when we get rid of it, when we sell a vehicle on Renee Bates auction, if we take all of the equipment off of it, it opens up the span of people that can get on the vehicle purchase. If we leave the equipment on it, sell the equipment on it, only law enforcement can get it. So 99% of the time, I think I sold one vehicle with the equipment on it. Everything else we've taken off. Now there is, you can turn around and put the equipment for sale separately, which you're not gonna get as much money for it, you're not gonna get a lot of money for it, but you're at least looking at some.
so is it better to sell it as a police vehicle?
I don't think so, I think it's better to take it off. So it's.
Okay.
And people are getting more of these vehicles. On enforcement.
Okay, so we'll leave it at 450. And you're gonna get between 5 and 7 vehicles with that. All right, that's all the questions I had on the budget. Is there anything else?
County's contribution to retirement.
Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about, I don't have that document in front of me. I don't remember, it's roughly $200,000 increase in the current year to increase $200,000 a year to increase the county's retirement portion to 2%. Is that correct? From 1.75. And basically that's a benefit toward long-term employees that stay here and hang on for employment for a while. Is that something we're interested in doing this year?
I don't know where you're gonna get the money.
It's another 200,000 that we got to figure out where to come from.
I think we should look at where we're at before we talk about that.
Oh,
Sandy gets her numbers.
okay. Well, we'll have to do that tomorrow. at tomorrow's budget hearing at 10:30. We'll look at
Consideration.
where we're at on, now,
One last thing, constables. They're gonna pay increase,
yes, that's already been agreed to.
thank you. Those
Their,
guys.
their increase would be the same, they would be making the same as a patrol deputy.
Great, thanks, sir.
That was agreed to. So. All right, anything else for the sheriff? Huh? Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for your help.
Joe.
Thanks, sir.
Yes,
Means
sir.
a lot. Means a lot to the boys.
Thank you. You bet.
Thanks, sir. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you later. Thank you again.
See
You
you.
bet.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Tomorrow it is.
So, I'm gonna go back to, I'm just gonna kind of jump around to different spots that I identified that we need to talk about and let you know. On, public buildings. I had put $1 million in under improvement to public buildings and grounds. That was gonna be for window restoration. And also, I talked about for the, plans for the jail, architectural drawing plans. We've taken that out. And I need to put something else back in there just to cover the architectural plan. So I'm going to suggest about $200,000 to $300,000 that, and to include any other building improvements that we may need to do on here, the courthouse or some of the other facilities that's not covered under the repair and maintenance. So are we good with that? 300,000? It went from $1 million to 0.
300,000 is plenty. I mean,
Something, Judge.
Yes.
We have a consulting service line. Would that be ever served with jail?
We can, non-department. Fortunately, I gotta find it.
409. Oh, no, 409.
No, I'm, it's, how I have my stuff. Is there something in there already? Don't,
Consulting
okay. Then, yes, I was just want to make sure we categorized it correctly and,
service.
about 200,000.
Then what are you putting in public building?
Let's do, if we're gonna put 200,000 there, let's do, 100,000 under, that would get me back to the 300,000 that I was talking about.
To improvement grants?
Yes, 100,000. And what we talked about is if we don't move forward or don't get the restoration, courthouse restoration grant. And we want to move forward with doing window restoration, we can take it out of contingency.
I like that.
Okay, so that's what our plan will be on that. All right, let me see it. I didn't put these back in order. We ought to hit human resources because he's here, but I won't do that. Next one is, and I haven't gone and asked on these different ones. I'm just gonna kind of talk about, we got under elections, and I guess I need to make sure we're in agreement to the position of election administrator, because what I can go get it. Basically, it's no cost to change what we're doing, because Susan is giving up 2 positions, which Shannon's one, and then another clerk position that I don't think she filled, to be part of the elections division. And Shannon would be the election administrator, and then the clerk position would be there. So the only difference is going to be the increase and pay for Shannon for the EA. But it's somewhat offset by the overtime, the reduction in overtime that they would encounter for, that they have encountered in the past. So the net effect is it's a wash. So are we in agreement that that's okay to do that, or?
I'm not, I've talked to Lance Wentz, he said, well, Van Zandt County's not ready for that. And he said, until we have 100,000 registered voters, he said, that we're not ready. And I'm not ready to, me personally, I don't think we should go that way.
I don't either. I don't think we should have a board and, I believe it's Kaufman County. They did it and they regret it.
Okay,
I think we take that clerk position that Susan doesn't have filled, move it into the elections department as a clerk to help when it's there, and that will eliminate the overtime. And I think that'll see how that works before we move into any of it.
okay. So basically we just, we keep everything where it's at.
Yes, but Susan needs to hire somebody to do that. They have to, not, that job's been down there for 3 years. If not, we need to eliminate that job. It's been sitting there empty for 3 years.
It's been filled one time for about 4 months
Okay,
when we started this budget year.
okay. Thank you.
That's the only one that's been filled that I can recall since I've been here.
Thank you for correcting.
So can we dedicate that position as an elections clerk? Or did it just stay open under county clerk?
I think we can move it, right now, we can move it to elections and take it out of the county clerk. And if you leave it in the county clerks, it's all up to her. We've all learned that lesson. You can't.
I think we move it to elections, that gives you 2 people on elections. And that or take out your overtime, because they got time to get it done.
Well,
With the exception of on election day, you'll have a little bit, but you're going out there anyway.
if it's under the county clerk still, she has the authority to make those changes. And to dedicate and to hire that clerk position and use it for whatever she desires. It's not really up to us to tell her she needs to hire a clerk for elections.
What's Shannon's?
Sorry? I'm trying to get there.
What is Shannon's actual? She just a county clerk or is she?
She's a clerk in the,
The assistant deputy clerk, but doesn't specify election.
no,
See, right now, I set her up as an EA. And that was an exempt position. So we raised her to that exempt level. Now, right now, her salary is 41,000. Are you just gonna do 41,000 and give her a 5% raise?
that's correct. And then you gotta put the overtime. You gotta put the comp time up that, or whatever it was that she was getting paid. I don't know where it was. If it was,
But you're,
There's another employee that's gonna get 40 hours a week that would do the same.
but it's like every other department. Anytime you're short-staffed, your overtime's gonna be up.
Mhm.
So when you're short a position, your overtime's gonna be up, and you take that overtime out of that position. Out of your salaries to cover it. I mean, that's,
Shannon, Tabitha was getting a supplement out of this month. I took that away from Tabitha because there was gonna be an election in that. With my understanding.
Mhm.
Are we gonna continue to pay Tabitha the budget, the supplement, or y'all gonna take that away from her? Because now there's 2 dedicated people to election.
That would, you would need to get with, Susan to find out. I'm assuming she'll just wanna go back to the way it was. And she will, so where was that supplement? Was that under,
That's the 38.9 she's saving on the 24 budget. That's Tabitha's supplement, and everybody else is getting paid, workers and.
Oh, right there.
everybody's getting paid at 60.
yeah. I would just go back to the way it was, what it was done this past year and increase it 5%.
Boys, Up there. Don't dedicate.
It's not up to us.
He says it doesn't matter.
It's not up to us. It doesn't, you mean in that department? You can ask Susan if she wants to put an employee over there. It's just, it's between her two departments is what it is.
Well, that's why I was wondering if it's a designated position, for instance, in road and bridge, I've got a designated foreman, a designated crew, I've got a designated road hand. I got a designated office administrator, and is it a position we can dedicate as election clerk?
It would just be a clerk. Who? I don't know.
She's here. I saw her this morning.
Let's look at. Cause hers went down significantly with this change too, and this may need to cut,
Two positions out of county clerk and move them to election.
right? See, she went from 419 budget to 321. And those two positions in her budget went to the elections. So they just would come back over here, is what it amounts to. Yeah, and it's up to Susan if she wants to divide it up between, because I don't know how much that Shannon does for the county clerk and how much she does, you know, she's full-time elections. That's really up to her. But one of the things I did want to take note of is the training. Here she did lower it to 5,000. And again, she said they didn't use the 7,000 this last year because of all the elections they had. They didn't have time to go to training. But under elections, I think we need to consider reducing that. Because it's at went from 35,000 to 7,600. I think that's excessive right there.
I agree.
I would say 5,000 would be more than adequate to change especially if we're not doing elections administrator anymore. They still have to go to the elections training, but it won't be in a role as a EA.
$5,000,
Okay.
with me.
Now, there's one on here that Susan put in, it says county clerk with elections, and that one has training.
Okay, there's one in her county clerk. She's still got 5,000 in the county clerk budget. This is the EA budget. Which she still has an elections budget because of the cost of equipment and supplies to run the election. She keeps it separate, and we should keep it separate. So it's not mingled with her county clerk budget.
She's got 5,000 in the
And the
county
county
clerk.
clerk's right. And then another 5,000 for elections. Which still is probably more than more. So we're good with that on the 5,000?
Aye.
Okay, okay. Another question that I haven't resolved that y'all need to be made aware of is we have been paying both our emergency management coordinator and our veterans services employee a stipend. In other words, a fixed amount every year divided by 12. And we are now told by the federal government that that is not legal. We can't do that. We have to put them on an hourly rate. And as you know, are aware, and you know, they can still be part-time, but have issues in that regard, in that if I put Vicky on a part-time schedule, she's going to exceed 30 hours or 20 hours or whatever it is on the months where we've got this emergency management stuff that's hot and heavy. And I can't tell her not to work. you know, that's not an option. So I have to figure out, not only, I do have to figure out for my budget for next year. But we have to start, it was effective July 1st, so I'm gonna have to come back to the court. To figure out what to do this year when we start paying her that, in that regard. And so I'm just giving you a heads up, and I haven't quite sat down and figured out what that amount would be. And then also with Harry, you know, I think it's, I don't have it right here with me. Do you have that? Oh, I can get it here. Veterans officer right there. I need some guidance from you guys on what to do, because he's gonna be retiring next year in March. And, so he's currently at 17,000, that's the stipend, he works 3 days a week, is what it amounts to. In certain hours of the day, and so we'll have to convert that over to, a part-time schedule, and have to start punching a clock. But what do you want me to do for next year when he retires? And he was, I think we should be bumping this up some.
But it's gotta be hourly, right?
Yes. If we have any chance of getting someone, you know, Harry's doing it mostly for the love of the people that he's dealing with. More so than for the money itself.
You can work 30 hours a week, is that part-time?
Not
Yeah.
over 30.
You wanna go with 30?
So usually you're looking at anything over $14 an hour, otherwise it's.
I'm just throwing this number out there, I'm not saying this is the number, this is a baseline, I guess. If you work 30 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. At $20 an hour. It's 31.2,
Mhm.
so I was just using that 20 as a base. From there,
Right. What is it at 14?
14. 30. Times 52, 1560, 1560 times what? 14?
Yeah,
21,840.
so I'd like to take it at 25. Yeah, are we okay with that?
25 hours a week?
No, 25,000 a year. At $14 an hour for, you said 30 hours a week? How many hours?
30 hours a week.
So I don't know that he works 25 or so, but we could. We have flexibility there to
So
set
this
the
was
hour,
30 hours a week, 52 weeks a year.
right? And at 14 would be $21,000. Okay,
If you worked 30 hours every week,
right.
You know, you pay a holiday and you pay a vacation.
Yeah,
We do have some that get closed every year, they're gonna be monitored closely. Their 30-hour average.
yeah.
So we don't mind just.
And if they go over 30, if they exceed 30-hour average, we have to convert them to full-time,
We
correct?
offer them the benefit package for 1 full year.
Okay, if they are average, if their average is over 30 hours,
Full benefit package.
okay.
What do they make right now?
It's 17,
That's not recommended.
Right.
Oh, that 18 is at 5%, right?
that is correct, yes.
Because that would be less. When you do that, you would say, well, you would, this other part-time person, you need to work over, and they got to, because you're gonna have others start thinking, well, I'm gonna let my person work over, so they can have benefits too. So,
Who is over,
the truth.
who's the supervisor of this,
Well, I don't know. You know, I talked to him, but also he was talking to Virgil. There's no clear, I'd have to go look at the liaison deal with
He answers to the court.
yeah.
But I mean, who would be in charge of monitoring the hours?
I will do a quarterly guideline.
Well, if I do time clocks,
You.
Wouldn't
you'll
I-
see it. I just I try to do a quarterly reminder, so it doesn't get us at the
Yeah.
very end of the
but
year.
as far as timekeeping, it would come to me. Okay. So, and I'd like to do that same thing with, whatever we do for Harry, we do for Vicky. And that's if we go to 20, can we say 25, 22,
Say 25.
25? And, do what?
25,000.
Yes. And we just have to break that out, on what the hourly rate is. Based on,
Real quick.
You guys been on 30 hours a week.
she only wants 20 hours a week, is what it amounts to. She doesn't want 30.
For the 30.
Comes out.
20 most weeks except for when.
Yeah, okay, that's what we'll do.
That will
Yeah,
absorb that difference.
right, okay,
25,000 working 30 hours a week, every week is 1602 an hour.
okay. I think that would be fair. And then we'll just need to figure out, what to do, in the interim. Between now and the end of the fiscal year. Okay, so I guess everybody's agreement with that? You good with that?
So I have a question.
Yes.
I mentioned to you last week that Haley the tag will come tomorrow, and go over to LSA. Do we think we're past that and we don't need to take her time to come, or would you like her still to come tomorrow at 2:30?
We have a workshop at 10:30.
Right.
Oh, that's what she's coming for? Okay.
If you don't think that we need
I-
to discuss it in any further detail, I'm sure she has other things she can do.
Yes, I don't think we need to, well, we resolve that with the ones that were there, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
And on that, exempt and non-exempt, that doesn't, there's been a injunction or something put on that, it's not going in effect when I thought it would. So,
July first, that injunction. Yes. Got that yesterday. We were supposed to, we can move that later, but it stopped, she got it yesterday.
so it won't go into effect.
there's an injunction on that law?
Mhm.
But that's what we still have to convert those two, because we're not. We have. The amount of the annual salary of the position. But that was that's the injunction.
And I did, on contracts, we've already gone through this and discussed it, but I went back and made an adjustment. And I just need the formula, I guess I gotta wait till Chad comes back, so to do that. And I've gotta work with the other judges, just to verify our indigent legal defense numbers are all accurate. Because there may need to be some modifications done based on what the current usage or current spending has been. The other issue, again, I gotta wait for Chad to come back.
There he is.
There he is. Okay, on the contracts, we've already went through line item by line item, but I made a change, and that is the Meals on Wheels grant, or it's not grant, the Meals on Wheels, we budgeted 4,000, that's what we've been spending every year, and I got a letter from EdCog asking us to be more supportive. So I upped it from 4,000 to 8,000. I basically doubled what we got. And I took the 4,000 out of MHMR, which is Andrews Center, which I had raised substantially. So Andrews Center was only going to go up by 5,000 or 4,000, 6,000, and then the 4,000 of that. Yes, it's only going to go up by 5,000, and then the Meals on Wheels go up by 4,000. So there's no change net. It's just an adjustment that I did between the two. Okay, so the other question I had is JP4 we got out of here without actually making a decision, and I don't have it. They put, they requested 1,500, and I can't get to the bottom of the screen. So maybe, hopefully they're up front. There we go. They put in their budget, and we were trying to get everybody consistent all the way through, and I think we did, but they put. Where is it? Or did we take it out?
For what?
It was auto. I can't find my deal. I guess we took it out. I think that they had $1,500 in there for a deputy pay, but I guess it's been
Oh,
taken out.
it wasn't JP, it was constable.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think we took it out.
Did we? So it would reflect in this if I
It should, yes.
if I can't get to the bottom of the page.
We did take it out.
We did, okay, because the sheet I had still had it in there.
But while you bring up JP's, I personally believe that JP's raise the pay ought to go up because it's too close to the constables now.
Precinct 4 constables higher in office supplies and law enforcement supplies too. Than the other.
We talking constable?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Well, he's new too, so he got to set up his office. I would think that would be part of it. Okay, this is what I was looking at right there, that 1,500, and that is gone in this new budget right there. So. All right. Okay. Does anybody have anything else?
Yep, we're talking about that, the JP salary.
JP salary. You think that we need to,
If you
what
want.
do you think it would be, it needs to go to?
I think it should stay at 5%.
You got the constables now making the same, basically the same thing as the JP's.
20,
And that's not, there's no other county in the state of Texas that does that.
without certificate pay, the,
But you can't, you got to count certificate. pay.
I know, but without certificate pay,
Yes, sir.
JPs are making more.
I know, but you've got count certificate pay. That's part of their salary.
I think it goes back to
How did,
our constables are a little bit different than most counties too. Not every county has to be the same.
how did we get to 61,000?
For who? That's what he requested. It's not
Oh,
what he got.
okay, he's at 55.3, okay,
Yeah.
there we go, all right.
What'd we take their pay to, Sandy?
55,
55, 3, 57.
Plus their,
The JP is 57, 750.
That doesn't include,
what do they make with their certificate pay?
A constable.
it depends on their certificate, level of certificate, but this one right here, 4,000,
Three of them are
right,
the only one that's not is Tommy.
right, 4,500 additional amount for certificate pay.
They're putting at 59,
So they're making $2,000 more.
little over 59. Well, 59, 8. The span in the year we were in was 7,000.
$7,000 difference. And now with their certificate pay, they're making 2,000 more than the JPs.
Well, in this year, but without certificate pay, the difference between constable and JP is right at $7,000. Now this year, you're gonna drop that to two.
And that's not counting certificate pay, right? That's just the
That's- yeah.
basic salary.
Yeah,
That's just strictly. Certificate, I was blind with it. They're gonna look like in the newspaper, they make no money today.
So even if we upped the JPs by 2,000, if you include their certificate pay, it's still gonna get more, correct?
yeah, but you lowered that gap instead of the gap going from 7 to 2,000, at least you only went from 7 to 4.
And we
I don't-
see on that, 'cause I gotta run that ad in the paper, or it goes. I think that goes July, but. I think I gotta put it. I have to take the ad to paper July 3rd.
July the what?
30th.
Oh, 30. I thought you said 30.
I have to take it to the paper that day. That's y'all, all the letters about it.
Well, I guess I disagree with Keith. I think we should keep it all at 5% or we're gonna open a can of worms with it, but. And I think we made it clear to the constables, this is just the salary of these 4 constables. And if anything changes. And. They're not doing the duties that they're doing now, that could always change, and I think we told them that. So, I just think just because no other county does it, I mean.
Do all 4 of the constables turning
I don't know, I just go off of what everybody, I don't know, to answer your question.
Two of them submit a detailed report of what they do every day and the mileage that they're submitted. The other 2, this report is included with the JP report as far as service warrant served, and that's all we get on those. So if you look at JP salaries for a population 50 to 99,000, just off the top of my head, I would say they average over 60,000. The range is all over the place, again, depending on different counties. You got Star County at 44 and another one at 32. Those are the lowest. Maverick County at 32.
We're gonna be in that 30 to 35% range.
Right, and you've got some as high as 85,000, 90,000. Burnett's 85, Chambers is 90, and so, and then it's everything between. I would say it's going to be greater than 60,000, the average on pocket. So,
Well, I got the averages, I can get you the averages right here. Can't be finding. Been a long time since I've been to it.
is this last year?
Yeah.
It is. So what did we raise theirs last year? Do you remember?
Okay, the JP. This is before last year's budget.
Right,
They were making 47,199. The median salary for counties our population is 58,855. The difference was $11,600 from what our JP was making and the median salary of the JP. And they were making 53 last year, which is below the median. And we're taking them up this year to what,
57,
57?
750.
And of course, I imagine these numbers all increased after last year,
Mhm.
so we're probably in the same boat. We're right there at what the JPs make. I mean, the big difference is the constable. That's a huge difference. Other than that, everybody is in line.
Okay. You know, I can go either way on it. We got a good group of JPs, just like we do constables. But
I got a good group of commissioners too. I can't say much about the judges, the commissioners. No, I say we take it to 2,000. There's about 2,000. That's just my vote.
all right. I can go either way. Ted?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna say yes. You're up, you're overruled.
I'm overruled.
Overruled. You got that? JP, add another 2,000 to the JPs. To get them slightly above the
Decrease.
yeah. Well, as soon as you get us the totals, and we'll come back. I guess that's 2,000 on top of the 5% they already had.
That's right.
So you want me to just add 3,000?
Yes, add 2,000 to their salary, yes. So it's $8,000 more that we're spending on that. So. All right, and we have, this will be the last thing today. Commissioner LaPrade, we've talked about a position after the first of the year to help and get the radio installed and up and running if it's not already. And we asked that Commissioner LaPrade submit a proposal. And the proposal that he submitted is basically the same rate of pay as he's making now as a commissioner and his same auto allowance, which for the 9 months that would go from September or January 1st to September 30th, that would come out to a total of 47,956 salary and 10,963 for auto allowance, and the net, the total amount with all benefits and all would be roughly 76,721.94. So what is y'all's thoughts?
Well, I thought about this, and we are elected to do a job. When people get elected, they either know what they get into or know what they get into. And I think, just like we didn't hire a student election administrator because we didn't want to spend the money, I don't think we should spend the money on this. And it's going to take me and Bobby and Mitch and whoever the new guy is just to step up, and we got to take this thing over. I mean, that's our job. And there's people at the sheriff's office that are capable as far as the technology part of it. Talking about Joe and Bob. And I mean, we can manage it, but we're just gonna have to buck up. And I mean, that's our job. It's what we get paid for. That's my opinion. Crickets.
Well, I threw it out there just in support of y'all, of the new people coming in. You know, there's oftentimes when at any election year, when the judge and the two commissioners up, you could have 2, 3 new people on the court every 4-year cycle. If that happened. The only reason I threw it up there is on help for y'all. If y'all are willing to, if you and Bobby and Mitch and whoever replaces Virgil realizes that it's gonna take some stepping up, then it's up to It's up to y'all, it's y'all's budget.
Well, that's what we get paid for.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's what we got 4 commissioners up here. I mean,
Bob's got something.
Yes, sir.
I agree with Brandon on his opinion on that. If that was the way we chose, I would have been very much on the guys at the sheriff department, because I know nothing about the radio system. As far as, you know, I don't know what I'm having to just step up and do them. I understand both sides of it. I think that's say I had to make a choice about that. Which way you go.
but I think, and I don't think it's fair. Let's just take Susan, for example. We don't give her, I didn't agree with her election administrator because she wanted that responsibility taken off her shoulders. And that'd be hypocritical of me to say, well, no, you can't get election administrator, but I'm gonna take this off my shoulders when it's our job, and we just need to step up and do it.
I see what you're saying.
And if that's the way, then I'll have to do that.
Well, my concern is that we've got a lot invested in this radio project. We gotta make sure that it comes across, that implementation is done right. And I know Chad's got a lot of time and we have a lot of money invested in it, and I just don't want it to fail. And I would, while we may not budget a position for him, I would like to leave open the fact that we could, and maybe use through the ARPA interest or whatnot, we could do a consulting contract if we need be, at the end of the year, to help us get going if we're not there ourselves. But I don't, because there's a lot of work that he's put into it and that only he knows right now, and we need to use that knowledge or obtain that knowledge, you know, in that regard.
I could agree. I'll agree with that, don't put them on as a full-time salary, but put some money as a consultant fee.
Okay.
And if we need it, we need it. I agree with that.
Consultant, he's not an employee any longer. He can't have an email, he can't, he has to provide his own things. And he has, whoever does this, is gonna have to have an email, because they have to talk to Mary, they have to talk to Rank Works. I mean, there's a lot of sides the job has to do, y'all don't see.
No, I know.
And it can't be left unattended because it's a 10 meeting, 11 meeting by process.
Now, gentlemen, I don't have a vote on this because it's talking to me. So when it comes to vote yea or nay, I have to abstain from anything related to it. Because you're talking about hiring me for. Law doesn't allow me to discuss it, so I'll say a few things here. You're looking at 3 new commissioners going to new elected school and trying to learn what we do back here. During the time that you're trying to put the system online, do the punch list, make sure everything's built per contract, operate per contract. Took me 3 years to learn, organize, and get all this together. I don't think you're gonna teach 3 new commissioners what's even going on with it, let alone how to handle it. Starting on day 1 when they come in. And as the judge has pointed out, and as Ms. Sandy pointed out, this is a very high dollar project, and you're looking at a very crucial time to bring it online as it's supposed to be built. And further along with a lot of what y'all don't know that I do. I've got a computer file that's bigger than anything y'all got on y'all stuff that is strictly radio project, not counting all the other stuff we do. And there's a lot of background work, communications, understanding what's been done and agreed on up to here. That y'all don't have the in-depth knowledge of. It don't matter to me. I'll find something else to do. I ain't gotta have the job. If y'all wanna take it over, you can. My concern is what's gonna happen to the system, how it's gonna get finished out. The last thing you wanna do is get this in depth with this much money spent and wind up with it not working right because the guy that knew how it all was supposed to win got replaced with somebody that knew nothing about it. And has no background knowledge in radio systems that just went with whatever he was told by whoever he was told. That's a lot of investment to mess something up on the home stretch. And I'll tell you right now, Bart, if you sit down with me every day for the rest of this year, I could not get you caught up with everything I know in this system.
No,
I couldn't do Bobby either, and it's not an insult to y'all. Y'all are smart men and capable men. It's just 3 years of knowledge and experience and meetings and talking to people and background information that I can't depart that $2 next door window.
no, and it's nothing, I mean, it's nothing against you, Chad, either, but if,
I've been working with Lieutenant Jones for a year, and he's just starting to understand the basics and have some knowledge of it.
well, at some point, even when this thing gets online, those guys are gonna have to know what's going on.
Yes, sir. And by the time we got it online and running like it's supposed to be running, they'll have that kind of knowledge. But as far as understanding what we're putting online and how we're building it and how we're doing it, they don't have that. Once we get it online and going, yeah, they'll be capable of maintaining it. But we're not talking about just maintaining the radio system. We're not talking about this position being here forever. We're talking about finishing out the budget year to get the system online and running right. And how the kinks worked out and them two guys manage it.
Well, we're obviously not gonna get a position in this budget, but we do have options to do consulting work after the first of the year using ARPA funds or the interest funds, correct? So
You can do the position. Maybe you don't want to work with stuff, just down you. Take it on a lot more than what you realize.
I understand.
I would agree with consulting.
All right, there's two other,
I'll tell you, I'm keeping quiet on purpose because I'm not gonna be here. I see what Chad's saying, I see what Brent, I understand, yeah, they've got to step up and do the job. They didn't want to work, they should have hired it, but I understand how important it is.
Yeah,
I'm keeping my mouth. I'm not saying it's gonna care, but you two are the ones gonna be here. I'm not.
so as long as we have a way to access, work with them after the first of the year. That's what I'm interested in, trying to maintain.
When you realize that that's what I thought I needed to do it. Consultant fee ain't gonna be no different. May even go up since I gotta add off an office and everything in my own to it. You ain't gonna save no money by switching from position to consulting, or whatever you want. But if that's your concern, that's not changing. Like I said, it may even cost you more on consulting, because I gotta provide a lot of my own infrastructure that I don't have to do as an employee.
We'll face that bridge when we get to it, I guess. There's two other positions I forgot to talk about. I hope, Sandy, if there's any more, let me know. The fire marshal asked for an additional position for nuisance abatement. I think at this point in time, that is not something that we can do because it would also require a vehicle. And that's my opinion right now. It would be great to have, but we're already way beyond where we need to be as far as budget goes. So does anybody want to argue for adding a maintenance officer for the fire marshal's office. I can see where it'd be an advantage to them to give them additional people to do the different, inspections that they do and back up each other. But I don't know if we can afford it right now.
I think we should see where we're at. And then fine tune it after that.
Okay. So that'll be tomorrow afternoon, we'll get to site, which it also brings another one, the library asked for another part-time. Person 20 hours a week, I think it is, and I don't remember the exact amount, but it's not. Do we want to go ahead and pursue that or not?
I don't,
I'll say the same thing. I think we should see where we're at and then fine tune everything else.
Okay,
Y'all told her that day, we approved, so it's in the budget.
Oh, we did?
we did.
I said I was holding out to see where he's at, so I'm up for.
I didn't, I wasn't here, that's all now.
I don't remember approving. I remember she talking about it. I don't remember we saying we're gonna give her one.
No,
I don't think.
I don't think they're committed to
You're
it,
hearing things, Sandy. You're hearing.
but
You said you hear
I said,
You're not getting old.
I don't want to hear
well, you can, it will always go back on the video and, you know,
I said tentatively look and see how everything else goes.
yeah.
I don't know that part of it.
I don't know what I said.
You're not bad.
I'm getting old.
County library, let's see what, did that show as a line item, separate line item, or does she already have a part-time? 14.5. No additional amount. So it's another tomorrow decision,
I think we should see where we're at.
okay,
And then everything else that we got questions about, we'll get it done.
Take it out.
yes, for now. Take it out and the abatement officer. All right, anything else? What time, when do we need to have the decision made for the salaries so that you can post in the paper?
July 30th.
I have to get it, I just take it to the newspaper, July 30th.
Okay. So next commissioner court meeting,
You don't have to.
no, not the third, but 17th,
no, we moved it to the 11th, remember?
11th, because that's when we make it, we have to vote on it.
No, I have to run the ad in the paper first and then you set the salaries.
Okay,
I just have
do we have to have a public hearing?
Uh.
Do we have to have a public hearing before we?
So act,
No, not till after.
We don't approve them before you put them in the paper?
y'all set them. Y'all tell me where you want them to be, and I run an ad in the paper. And then you come to court and set those salaries, and that's when the agreement starts kicking. Like,
Okay.
and
So at the same time that we set the salaries or that we approve the salaries, we then do the grievance, select the grievance committee.
supposed to be set, so if you were supposed to select the grievance committee tomorrow, but nobody got it on the.
Okay, so that will be on the next. And do I need to do that? Do you want me to do that or you do it or? Okay,
That's not good.
Hope it does.
all right, we'll get it taken care of.
That on the office of the court will action, instead of that, I'm gonna run the ad. I'll run the ad. August before. Then I'm gonna see, y'all set the year, the salaries. And then they have until the 19th to agree. And then if you agree, you'll have a hearing on the.
We have to set that committee, as soon as we can set that committee, be
The 11.
the 11th now.
So we'll be fine there. Well, we'll do 11. We're good. Now, who's on the committee? I remember we had something on.
We
there.
have to decide whether or not we're gonna,
Grand jury.
well, we have to decide how we wanna do it. Do we wanna have elected official or a combination of elected officials and private individuals? Or do we wanna select names from the prior grand juries? Which is the easiest way to do it. All right, anything else? All right. We will, 10:30 tomorrow is the next workshop. And we got, Commissioner Court at 9 AM.
Commissioners Court at 9. Then the last budget workshop at 10:30.
Well, I'm not gonna say the last, I'm gonna say we got one scheduled, because if we don't, if the numbers are out of whack, we don't have to figure out what to do, so there may be additional ones.
So there's gonna be additional.
Well, what did you have in there for the sheriff in the one that was out of whack? Did you have all those positions that he requested? Did you have any of those positions he
No.
requested? So it,
I had no position, but sure. Just 5%.
okay,
We're taking that 5%, that 8 to 5, we cut. You didn't have those cuts that he had either in there either. Now. What time is it?
it's something. Yeah, that's plans.
Yeah, I got a meeting at